What if greatness didn't fade? What if it simply switched off? Number 1. Todd Gurley. In 2017, Gurley was the engine of the Rams offense. 2,093 yards from scrimmage, 19 touchdowns, and the PFWA Offensive Player of the Year. He touched the ball nearly 30 times a game, a workload reserved for the truly elite. But the illusion of invincibility shattered in less than a season. By late 2018, Gurley's snap share plummeted from 75% to below 30%. In the NFC Championship game, he managed just 10 carries. The public saw a superstar disappearing in real time, but the true cause remained hidden. In March 2019, one word surfaced in a Sports Illustrated report: arthritis. Gurley's left knee, already reconstructed after a college ACL tear, was now bone on bone. No amount of willpower or pain tolerance could reverse the decay. The Rams, locked into $34.5 million in guarantees, made the coldest move in football. They phased him out, then released him, absorbing $31 million in dead money. The market's verdict was swift. Gurley, once seen as a future Hall of Famer, became a cautionary tale overnight. In the NFL, careers rarely end slowly. They collapse, they vanish, they disintegrate. In second place, Josh Gordon's collapse rewrites the script for overnight disappearance. In 2013, Gordon delivered a season for the ages. He had 1,646 receiving yards in just 14 games, a league-best 117.6 yards per game, and a spot on every All-Pro ballot. The numbers suggested a future legend. But the unraveling began far from the field. On July 5, 2014, a driving under the influence arrest in Raleigh triggered a chain reaction. Within weeks, the NFL handed down a one-year suspension for violating the substance abuse policy, later reduced to 10 games, but the pattern was set. Each return brought new hope, followed by another failed test, another letter from the commissioner, another season erased. 5 separate indefinite or season-long bans followed, stretching from 2014 to 2019. Gordon's addiction cycle collided with the NFL's rigid policy, creating a spiral that rehab programs and conditional reinstatements could not break. Contractually, the fallout was just as unforgiving. Gordon's total career earnings barely reached $8.6 million across 6 years, a fraction of what his talent once promised. Teams reduced him to a series of one-year, low-guarantee deals, each more precarious than the last. The market's verdict was swift. Elite skill is irrelevant if the league's rulebook and a player's demons intersect. In the NFL, careers rarely end slowly. They collapse, they vanish, they disintegrate. Third on our list, Le'Veon Bell redefined the economics of collapse. At his peak, Bell was the prototype of the modern running back, dual threat, patient, and irreplaceable in Pittsburgh's scheme. But in 2018, he made a choice that would sever his rhythm and his value in a single season. Bell refused to sign the franchise tag, sitting out all 1,344 live snaps and forfeiting every dollar of his $14.5 million tender. The gamble wasn't just about money, it was about leverage in a league that rarely rewards defiance. When he returned with the New York Jets in 2019, the numbers told a story of permanent damage, a drop of over 35% in yards per touch, just 3.3 yards per carry, and a role reduced to empty volume on a team that never wanted him. The $12 million in guaranteed money became dead weight on the Jets' books, a financial echo of a player who was no longer a difference maker. Bell's collapse didn't come from injury or scandal. It came from a cold miscalculation, the belief that greatness is portable, that dominance can survive outside the system that built it. In the NFL, careers rarely end slowly. They collapse, they vanish, they disintegrate. Number 4. Cam Newton. In 2015, Newton was the NFL's most dangerous weapon, an MVP quarterback who blurred the line between passer and power runner, accounting for 45 total touchdowns and dragging the Panthers to a 15-1 record. His mobility wasn't just a feature, it was the core of his football identity. But within 3 years, that foundation crumbled. The first crack appeared with a shoulder injury in late 2016, then deepened with a torn rotator cuff and a second surgery in January 2019. By the start of that season, Newton's velocity and accuracy had faded, but it was the Lisfranc foot injury, sustained just 2 games into 2019, that finished the transformation. Suddenly, the threat of escape was gone. Snap counts dropped, designed runs disappeared, and defenses no longer feared his legs. From 2017 to 2019, Newton scored only 8 rushing touchdowns. His passer rating sagged to 75.8, a shadow of his MVP peak. The Panthers, once built around his singular talent, released him outright in March 2020. The loss of a single physical trait, explosive mobility, dismantled an entire play style, exposing how tightly greatness is tied to the body's limits. In the NFL, careers rarely end slowly. They collapse, they vanish, they disintegrate. Number 5. Carson Wentz. In 2017, Wentz was on the verge of a most valuable player season, 33 touchdowns, a 13-2 record as a starter, and a city daring to believe in a franchise quarterback. Then a single play in Los Angeles. Wentz dives for the end zone, his left knee buckles, and the ACL tears. The body heals, but something deeper fractures. Post-injury, the numbers tell a chilling story. The interception rate more than doubles from 1.6% in 2017 to 3.4% by 2020. The sack rate climbs by 40%. On film, the mechanics that once made him elusive now betray him. Hesitation, rushed throws, a quarterback haunted by the memory of collapse. The Eagles, once all in, absorb a record $39 million in dead money just to move on. The hidden cause is not just a ligament, it is the erosion of confidence, the mind replaying what the body fears. Even when the knee is repaired, trust is not. In the NFL, careers rarely end slowly. They collapse, they vanish, they disintegrate. Number 6. Andrew Luck. In 2018, Luck staged one of the NFL's most improbable comebacks. 4,593 passing yards, 39 touchdowns, and a playoff run that seemed to silence every doubt about his battered body. But beneath the surface, the cost was mounting. 5 surgeries over 7 years, from torn labrum to lacerated kidney, left Luck in a cycle of pain and endless rehab. Each return brought new hope, but also a deeper exhaustion, mental as much as physical. The public saw a quarterback at his peak. Luck felt trapped on what he called a hamster wheel of injury and recovery. In August 2019, with the season days away and the Colts still building around him, Luck walked away. His retirement press conference was raw, almost confessional. "I have lost my joy. I can't live this way." The Colts absorbed $30 million in dead cap, their franchise plan erased overnight. No scandal, no ban, no final injury, just a conscious decision to disappear, driven by the weight of too many surgeries and too little peace. In the NFL, careers rarely end slowly. They collapse, they vanish, they disintegrate. Number 7. Ray Rice. For 5 seasons, Rice was the Ravens' engine, 3 Pro Bowls, a Super Bowl ring, and more than 9,000 yards from scrimmage before his 28th birthday. Then, in February 2014, a single act inside an Atlantic City elevator detonated his career. The police report described an assault. The first leaked video showed Rice dragging his unconscious fiancée. The NFL responded with a 2-game suspension, widely condemned as insufficient. But on September 8, 2014, when TMZ released the elevator's interior footage, the reaction became instant and irreversible. Within 24 hours, Rice was released by the Ravens and suspended indefinitely by a letter from Roger Goodell. No appeals, no second chances, just erasure. The collapse was not about declining skill or injury. It was about the league's moral calculus shifting overnight. Rice's career ended not with a missed tackle, but with a single news cycle that rendered him untouchable. In the NFL, careers rarely end slowly. They collapse, they vanish, they disintegrate. Number 8. Calvin Johnson. In 2012, Johnson shattered the NFL's single-season receiving record with 1,964 yards, an achievement that seemed to promise years of dominance ahead. Yet just 3 seasons later, the man known as Megatron announced his retirement at age 30. There was no public scandal, no catastrophic injury broadcast on Sunday night. Instead, the signs were quieter: persistent hip and foot pain, medical reports of degenerative damage, and a growing sense that each leap and cut carried a cost no stat sheet could measure. Behind closed doors, Johnson weighed the price of one more season against the mounting risk to his long-term health. The Lions, facing his exit, invoked a contract clause to recoup $3.2 million of his signing bonus. This was a cold reminder that in the NFL, loyalty is transactional. Johnson's press release cited his body's decline, not a single event, as the reason for stepping away. In the end, his disappearance was not forced by scandal or sudden collapse, but by a deliberate, almost silent decision to preserve what remained. In the NFL, careers rarely end slowly. They collapse, they vanish, they disintegrate. Across all 8 collapses, one truth emerges. In the NFL, dominance is never secure. Physical limits, mental strain, and ruthless economics converge, erasing legends in a heartbeat. In this league, careers rarely end slowly. They collapse, they vanish, they disintegrate. Greatness here is always borrowed, never owned.